Hey everyone! Today we are going to set up and configure MCP servers that'll extend Claude's capabilities. If you've got a project that uses MCP, or you're just curious about how it all fits together, this one's for you. Alright, quick rundown. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol, and it's basically how an LLM connects to external tools. Think of it as giving the LLM superpowers to interact with the world beyond just conversation. By the end of this video, we'll know exactly how to set up any MCP server and get it running with Claude Desktop. Today we're using a database MCP server as our example, but the setup process is identical for any MCP server we want to run. Whether it's for file management or a project with a transformer model, the steps are exactly the same. Alright, so here's our server file database _MCP. See this fast MCP class right here? That's basically the core of any MCP server. It's like the engine that makes everything run. This class comes from the MCP library and defines all the tools that Claude can access and use. Looking at the code, we can see we've initialized our MCP server and given it a descriptive name, Database MCP Server. Pretty self-explanatory, right? Now, here's where it gets interesting. We have these things called tools defined in our code. Think of tools as specific functions or capabilities that our AI can use. For example, we might have a tool to query a database, another to send emails, or one to process files. These tools are what make our MCP server actually useful. And at the bottom of our code, we have this run operation that actually starts up the server. Simple enough. Before we dive into setup, let's look at what we're working with. Every MCP server project will have a main server file. That's our Python file with all the logic. We might have additional folders like this data folder. This varies depending on what a MCP server does. Some servers might need data files, and some might not need any extras at all. And here's something we'll see in most of the projects, a requirements.txt file. This tells us exactly which Python packages we need to install for a specific project to work. Now, the first step for any MCP server setup is creating a clean Python environment. Trust me, we want to do this. It keeps everything organized and prevents those annoying package conflicts. Open the terminal in the project directory and type Python mvenv myenv. We can name our environment whatever we want. This time we are going with myenv to keep it simple. Once that's created, we need to activate it. On Windows, type myenv script activate. We'll see the environment name appear in the terminal prompt. That's how we know we're in the right place. Next, let's install UV with pip install UV. UV is this fantastic package manager that's way faster than regular pip. We might need it to run the server in development mode. And while we're at it, let's make sure our pip is up to date. Always good practice. Now for the essential stuff. Every MCP server needs the core MCP library, so let's install that. Pip install MCP. This is the foundation that makes all MCP servers possible. We also want the MCP CLI tools. Pip install MCP CLI. These give us some really handy command line utilities for testing and managing our MCP servers. Finally, let's install the specific requirements for our server using pip install nanofrrequirements.txt. Different MCP servers will have different requirements, but the process is always the same. Here's one of my favorite features, MCP's built-in development mode. Type mcp dev database _mcp.py and hit enter. Replace database _mcp.py with whatever your server file is called. Look at that. It gives us a local development URL with an authentication token. This is MCP's testing interface, super useful for making sure everything works before connecting to Claude. Let's open this in our browser and click Connect. Perfect. Our server is running. If there were any setup issues, error messages would appear right here, just below the connection status. But we're all good. Check out the history. We can see our server name listed. It is taken from this part of our program where we have defined the server name. Now let's click on the Tools tab. This is where we can see all the tools that are available on the server. Remember those tools that we have defined in the code? Here they are in action. We can see we have multiple tools available, and one of them is designed to test valid operations on database tables. Let's try running one of these tools. Here we have a database URL that points to our database in the data folder. When we run this tool, it gives us information about the valid operations, and we might also see some errors. For example, in this case we are seeing some information, and at the end there is an error saying, unique constraint failed. This happens when we try to insert a value that already exists in a column that requires unique values. Let's open the first result. This is what's causing the constraint error, since we're adding a value that already exists in a column that's meant to be unique. The second operation fails because we're trying to insert null values where they're not allowed. The third case fails because required columns are missing. Same way we can check the others. These errors are actually good. They show that our validation is working properly. Testing is great, but the real magic happens when we connect this to Claude Desktop. Let's shut down our development server. And open Claude Desktop. Once it is opened, go to Settings, then click Developer. This is where all the MCP servers are listed. We can see any existing servers and their status. The secret to everything is a config file. Click Edit Config, and we'll see Claude_desktop_config.json. This is where we tell Claude Desktop about every MCP server we want to use. Here's the configuration we need to follow. As we can see, we already have some servers defined. These are the names of the servers that will appear in the Claude Desktop. Let's add our new server by copying an existing configuration and modifying it. First, let's change the name to Database MCP. Then we need to update the command path to point to the python.exe file in our virtual environment. This is crucial. It needs to point to the Python executable inside the virtual environment directory. Next, we need to set the Python path to point to the site packages directory in our virtual environment. This ensures that all our installed packages are available. Finally, we need to update the arg section to point to our server file. That's our database_mcp.py file with all our code. Make sure to save the file when it is done. Now close the Claude app completely and reopen it. We have got a JavaScript error saying that a JavaScript error occurred in the main process. And there is another error saying that there was an error reading or parsing the config file. This means there's a small syntax issue in our config file. Let's check our config file again. There it is, an extra comma that shouldn't be there. Remove it and save the file. Now let's open the Claude Desktop app and go to the developer setting. Here we are not seeing our MCP server. If Claude Desktop still doesn't recognize the changes after restarting, like in this case, try terminating the app completely from Task Manager. In some cases, it might even need to restart the computer. Now let's terminate this in the Task Manager. Let's open Claude Desktop again and check our developer settings. There we go. Our MCP server is now listed and shows as running. We can see the command, arguments, and environment variable information that we defined in the config file. We can monitor what's happening with your server through log files. Let's open the log file. There's a logs folder that contains separate log files for each MCP server. We can identify the right log file by its name. In our case, it's database MCP with the prefix MCP server. These logs show everything that's happening, from server initialization to any errors that might occur. New information appears at the bottom, so if something goes wrong, this is your first place to check. Once our server is initialized and running, we can access the tools through the Search and Tools button in Claude Desktop. Click on this, and we'll see our MCP server and all the tools we've defined. Let's test it out. I'm going to give Claude a prompt to interact with our database MCP server. Let's say, show the connection status. It says there is no database connected and there is a sample database available in a specific path. In the second prompt, we will ask it to connect to this database. Now Claude will use our MCP tools to connect to the database. And as we can see that now it is connected. Now we will ask it to provide the user's data. Now Claude will query the database using our MCP server and display all the user information in a nice readable format. And as we can see all the data from that table displayed clearly, we can continue testing with more prompts like, how many users are in the database? Show me users with a specific email domain. What are all the table names in this database? Pretty amazing, right? Our AI assistant now has direct access to the database through the MCP server we just configured. And there we have it. We've just learned how to set up and configure any MCP server with Claude Desktop. This process works for database servers, file management servers, API integration servers, we name it. The beauty of MCP is that once we understand this setup process, we can connect Claude to virtually any external tool. If you need help with your projects, have difficulty learning these concepts, or want to deepen your understanding of how things like this work, Codersarts is here to support you. We offer personalized project assistance, one-on-one live sessions, help with building AI-related applications, and full development and deployment services. Visit us at www.codersarts.com or reach out directly at contact@codersarts.com. You'll also find our LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook handles linked in the description box below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and share the video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss our latest tutorials. Thank you.